Because I know some people can't get on one too. So we are recording. Good morning. It goes right to record. It used to have where you had to select record to computer. So we are recording. Welcome to the Saturday morning coffee chat, our first one in October. So today we are going to actually talk a little bit about metabolism, and then I'm going to share a 5-minute video that Autumn put together on the myths. And then we'll also just touch base on the meal planning system that kind of rolled out, which I've talked about before, especially with you guys in the group, you ladies in the group. But I kind of like wanted to formalize it. So I'm creating just this thing that I can share with other people, kind of help them with their meal planning. So love it. Thanks for your feedback, Sheila. So let me share my screen. I was just gonna say, if you see somebody in the waiting room, but I don't think you can see it. So can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So metabolism, when we first think about metabolism, most people really aren't sure what it is, except that it's, what burns calories, what helps us to either lose weight or burn the food that we're eating. So we either define it as slow or fast, right? We think, when somebody asks about metabolism, it's like, well, I've got a slower metabolism. So we're going to look at that a little bit. And then Autumn will talk about, some of the myths about whether you can boost it or how age affects metabolism. So it's some good information, but metabolism really is defined as the bodily process needed to maintain life. So your body turns the food you eat into the energy it needs to function. And it's a process that isn't just, to us humans, but to all living things. There's photosynthesis with plants, it's the same with animals, that they have to have a certain amount of intake of energy to be able to just function. So again, plants do the same thing with their process. So it's really interesting, I think, because we really just think about it as in a way of how am I going to be able to burn fat? And, age, sex, and body composition can have natural variations in our metabolic rate. And most people just think that the trouble that they have with losing weight is because their metabolism is slow, which I've said before myself. It's like I must have a slow metabolism or I got big bones. The scale doesn't move, my bones are big. But truly, food is fuel. So the food that we do put into our body is converted. It's a biochemical process. So food has a measurement of calories. I don't know if in Canada they say this, but I know when I lived in Australia, it's kilojoules, and that is, joules is energy. And so it's the number of energies that are in food. And so when I was living in Australia, they didn't show calories. It was by kJ, kilojoules. So how much energy is in this food? So the calories in the foods and the drinks that we consume are combined with oxygen so there's this process that happens and it releases energy that your body needs to function. So, and then I copied this quote over from our vitamins and minerals presentation that we did, because food is quite literally fuel for us. And what we put into our body matters, is how effective our body is going to take that and convert it into the energy your body needs. And we're not just talking about, what our muscles and in that sort of bigger picture process of digestion, but how it converts down into the cellular energy that is created. And so you can imagine that if you're consuming food that is more processed, or you got high sugary foods, or foods that have a lot of non-food food in it, ingredients in it, when this biochemical process happens, your body will take what it needs, that it can use, that it recognizes, and the rest becomes waste that it can't. So if your diet is processed foods, convenient foods, fast foods, non-foods, then that's where we kind of get sluggish and we have no energy, and we start seeing this present itself in other ways with, you know, illnesses or inflammation, digestive issues, being tired, having mental fog. So really, it really does matter the food that we're eating. And that, so the food, when it breaks down to this, the energy your body needs to function, that's the basal metabolic rate. You might have heard that, BMR, basal metabolic rate, or a resting rate of your body converting that to energy. And it's the rate at which the body uses energy while at rest to keep vital functions going, like your breathing, you know, keeping your body warm, your thinking, your blood pumping, just all these functions that are happening just to keep us alive. So that's the basal metabolic rate, just the very minimum of calories or energy that your body needs to stay alive. And so when we're thinking about that, what does my body need, and how the rate of my metabolism, body composition plays a big part in this. So your more lean body mass that you have, the higher your metabolic rate is. It's not necessarily that it's a faster metabolism. It's just that when you have lean body mass, you know, you've got, which we do with strength training and eating, you know, healthy foods in proportion to what we are trying to achieve, your metabolism isn't necessarily getting faster. It's just that because you've got lean body mass, there's a higher demand for the energy for it to maintain its bodily functions. Muscle tissue uses more energy than fat tissue. So if you have more lean body mass, so more muscle than fat, then your body, your demand, your metabolic rate is going to be higher. So this is good news, because the bottom line is you can help your metabolism, your odds of weight loss success and maintaining and having that energy is by changing your energy balance, or the balance between what you consume and what you burn off through healthy diet and regular physical activity, which is what we do, which is the, you know, the whole premise for our group is to do these things, these two things. So I know, so with lean body mass, to be able to create that, obviously we need to do strength training and we need to eat in line with that. So that means consuming enough calories, because your metabolism will burn at a slower rate if you're not consuming enough calories, because it needs to, its bodily functions, your bodily functions are going to decrease for survival. So we need enough calories, but then we also, you know, don't want to have too many. So that's where, like, knowing where our range is important, and also what works for your body. So as your body changes, as the body composition changes, your requirement of calories is going to change. And that is, you know, individual to each person. So although we have a standard calculation, we need to see, you know, what is working for you. What are you doing? What is your activity level? What kinds of foods are you eating? And so we can look at those more detailed things to be able to tailor your, you know, your meal plan to your goals, which is part of that meal planning process that we went through. So again, bottom line, exercising regularly, having some strength training or resistance training in there, which is good for this, and it's also good for your bone health. As we're getting older, we need more resistance training, heavier loads on our bodies that causes your bones to create what I think it's osteoblasts or osteoclasts. I can never remember one, but it when it feels that heavier load, it's actually responding to it by keeping your bones healthier and stronger to meet that demand. So strength training is highly recommended. So we talk a lot about, I do, nutrition, how that is vitally important, and we all know that, and that it plays like 80% of the your result. But your metabolism does rely on your activity, and when you're more active, your energy demand is increased. So it is a higher, I want to say faster, but it is at a higher rate, an increased rate. So everything that we're hearing here is good, because this is what we do, right? So do you have any questions with that? And then we'll go into the 5-minute video from Autumn. Okay, let me share my screen again. And no, not that. So this is, can you see this? Yeah, okay. So this is from the monthly fix. This was actually the October's topic. And I thought it was perfect to go into, having just gone through our 4-step meal planning system, talking about why balanced macronutrient meals and portion control are important, is part of this metabolism, and ensuring that it is, burning effectively with good food. So there we go.
What's up, fixers? Let's talk about myths about metabolism. Now that we know the what and why of metabolism, we're going to bust some of the biggest metabolism myths. So myth number 1, you can't change your metabolism. Truth is, while our resting metabolic rate will remain fairly the same throughout life, you can help boost your metabolism through exercise by increasing our lean muscle mass. We talked about that in the last video. Myth number 2, a diet of coffee, green tea, and hot peppers will boost your metabolism. Truth is, that's not true at all. You might have heard that eating certain foods can make your metabolism faster. Some studies show that certain foods can boost your metabolism for a short period of time. For example, caffeine slightly increases the rate at which you burn calories in the short term. But consuming large amounts of caffeine is not a healthy weight loss solution. You guys, it's not about how fast you process your food, it's about the way you process it. So you want to avoid fried foods, sugary foods, soda, and anything you don't recognize the ingredients on. When eaten in excess, and it's easy to do that, these foods, they just tend to store up as fat. You want to focus on fruit, veggies, whole grain, lean protein, and healthy fats to create a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. This is not about a quick fix. What you eat also affects your gut microbiome, and the makeup of your gut microbiome can also affect how you lose weight. We're going to talk about that next month. But obviously, if I'm saying things like eat veggies and fruit and lean protein and whole grains and healthy fats, hello, ultimate portion fix. So there it is. Okay, myth number 3, eating late at night slows your metabolism. Truth is, there's no real proof of that at all, that eating after 8 p.m. makes your metabolism work less efficiently. However, you are more sedentary later in the evening, which is why you won't be burning off as many calories later at night. This is why it's important to space out your meals all throughout the day instead of having one big meal later at night. The goal is to supply our bodies with a steady, consistent, healthy energy throughout the day, not just one huge meal all at the end of the day. Myth number 4, extreme low-calorie diets is the way to jumpstart your metabolism. Truth. Again, there's no evidence showing this to be accurate. Remember, we talk about this in Ultimate Portion Fix Home Program. Our bodies are really smart. If you eat too little, your body will eventually start to think it is in a famine, and it will begin to restrict the amount of energy it uses to help keep you alive. Change this way of thinking and focus on healthy foods in proper portion sizes. People are always shocked at how much they get to eat on Ultimate Portion Fix. That's because our healthy food right? It's more nutritionally dense and less calorie dense, so we get to have more of it. So enjoy the healthy stuff. Last but not least, myth number 5, your metabolism slows with age. The truth is, we talked about this in the deep dive, it's not that your metabolism slows just because you're getting older. It's that we become less active when we get older, right? We're working more, we're not exercising as much, and because of that, we lose lean muscle mass. And if when you lose lean muscle mass, you're not burning as many calories because muscle tissue uses more energy than fat tissue. So exercise and healthy eating is going to go a long way towards fighting the effects of aging and of your metabolism working less efficiently. So focus on being active daily and resistance training at least 3 to 4 days a week. There it is, you guys. We've busted the myths on metabolism. We've talked about what it is. Next up is your monthly assignment. Check it out.
Okay. So if you're catching the recording, that will have what we just watched will have clipped itself out of here for privacy issues, or it's not a shareable media for recording. But the myths were: 1, you can't change your metabolism. What you can do is increase your lean body mass, like we talked about, which will create a higher burning rate, right? So 2 is that certain foods will boost your metabolism, which is not necessarily true. You can have foods that will in the short term boost your rate, but like caffeine will, at a short period of time, will kind of like burn faster, but you don't want to be drinking caffeine all day, every day. I mean, I would, but yeah, that's right. And I love what she says, it's not how fast you process your food, but how well you process it. So eating whole foods, nourishing foods with dense nutrition is going to be much better than trying to eat foods that are just designed to like boost your metabolism. If you go to Google metabolism, digestive process, or definition, or diagram, any of that, which I did, you'll see like lots of diagrams, lots of very scientific models of it. But then you'll also see some articles about boosting your metabolism, and just know that it will do something in the short term as far as increasing the rate, but it's very short term, and it's not necessarily the healthiest thing. What we want to do is create this lifestyle where we're just constantly providing dense nutrition and being active. The two things that have been true for all of human time, right? And 3, eating late slows metabolism. It's not scientifically proven or true. I think she said it's just that we're more sedentary later in night. Now, if you're a shift worker and you're like my son's dad, he works nighttime, so obviously he's more active at night. So eating later at night, it's just really it's that being active and eating healthy foods. Can't say it enough, right? And then 4 was a low-cal diet. You'll burn faster. Your body will actually go into survival mode, and we talked about that too. Your body has your back. It's going to help protect you. Like we talked in the 4-step meal planning system, how you have a protective mechanism in your brain, in the subconscious brain, that it's designed to detect change. And when it's, change is triggering, it's there to like, what's going on? Why are things happening? And it's designed to protect you. So that's same thing is happening within our body. Our body is amazing, and it will survive despite definitely abusing it and feeding it crap and not exercising. It'll last a long time because of this survival mechanism. So the more that we can help our body, the better. Again, so low calorie diets aren't necessarily going to make your metabolism burn faster or your weight loss journey to be better. It's like actually could slow your metabolic rate down for that survival mechanism. And then 5, metabolism slows with age. It's not really, it may, but that's only because you're less active, or not us, but if you're less active, you have lower lean body mass. So then, yeah, your metabolic rate is going to be decreased. So those were the 5 myths that we covered. So I wanted to make sure if you're not on the recording, that's what we just talked about. Okay, so the monthly assignment that she referenced at the end of that video was where, and I will share, I'll find something that highlights what she said, and it's really just with Halloween, with candies. It wasn't really an assignment. It was more of, here's, if you eat this, here's how many calories or how many, like I think a candy corn was her first example, is 1 ounce of candy corn, because it is straight up sugar and food coloring, because the body typically burns, I can't remember, so I don't want to quote it wrong, but I did remember this number. You have to do 280 burpees to burn off like 1 serving of candy corn. So it's what does your food cost you, was her title of it. What is your food costing you? Not necessarily in financially, but in, that, what are you gonna have to do to burn off those calories that you're consuming with the different candies? Now, we all want to enjoy our treats, but just know that it's going to affect that whole metabolic rate. So yeah, so that was a monthly assignment, and I'll share some of that stuff in the group. Okay, so let's just end with making sure everybody got their 4-step meal planning system emails, and you've got the weekend to work through this if you haven't. I would definitely love your feedback on it, because as I said, I'm formalizing this so that I can offer it out to other people, and I want to just kind of make some tweaks before I do that. So, and hopefully it was helpful. I know Sheila and I talked yesterday or the day before about it, just like really keeping it simple, and and she did what I did, and I think I know Erin's done this, because Erin's a lot like us, is trying to write out every single meal and figuring it all out every single day, every week, which is exhausting. And mine, yeah, it's like, I did that in the beginning. And it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta need to figure out an easier way. And so this is kind of the process on how my system was born. So, because we really do want to keep it simple. I mean, it is nice if you can, if that's your jam, to be able to figure out each meal for every day and calculate all the containers, then that's great. But is it sustainable? And that was my whole thing. I know I couldn't keep doing that like every weekend. That for me took too much time. So then I don't do it. And then I go into a week with having no plan at all. So this is not, a foolproof, like there's variations in this, but at least it gives you an idea going into your week, and a way to track it so that you can stay on course. And it's not perfect, because we can't do perfect. Perfect is an ideal that is just not achievable. And so we set ourselves up for not being able to meet that expectation if that's what we're striving for. So definitely going for progress, and just being able to have a way to stay on track that we can fit into our life very easily, and still achieve our goals in a way that we're still happy with it. So that was my whole bottom line. How can I make this easy where I'm staying happy in the process? So, all right. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. And
I'd just like to comment on that. It was so nice to go into this week and go to the grocery store with a plan this week and have a guideline of what I'm going to do for the week. And it's the first time in a long time. So thank you for some simple guidelines.
Good. I'm glad it helped. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for getting on the call and providing your feedback. So if you have any questions that come up later, just let me know. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. We are officially kicking off our October on Monday, although, we keep rolling through. So, all right, let's make it a good month. Bye.